Okay, hello everybody. We are live. It's great to see everyone, and thanks a lot for coming along today. Welcome, welcome, welcome wherever you are in the world. My name's Scott. I'm an expert IELTS teacher and also managing director of Swoosh English. And I'm here today to help out everyone ask any question, whatever they have about their IELTS exam, whether it's IELTS General, IELTS Academic, IELTS UKVI, etc., etc. So first and foremost, thanks a lot for coming along today. You're very welcome to this session. You'll see somewhere around the screen that you're watching on today on Facebook, on YouTube, or else inside our dedicated hosting service that you will actually see a comment box somewhere. Some of you I can see already are making great use of that comment box. And please use that comment box today to ask your questions. So your questions will be asked and answered live inside that comment box as they come through. So why don't we get started today just simply by you introducing yourself. Let us know where you're from. Let us know what IELTS exam you are taking and when, and even why you're taking the IELTS exam, or maybe you're not taking the IELTS exam at this point. You are deciding between different English language exams at this point, but you're thinking about IELTS for a number of reasons. So whatever you think, please just give us as much information as possible and yeah, have a bit of a conversation as a whole. I'll just keep those instructions on the screen in the form of a banner. I'll bring that banner up now. And yep, let's bring the IELTS questions today, post them into the chat. So I'll start while some of the comments are coming in. As I said, my name is Scott. I'm an expert IELTS teacher with Swoosh English. I started teaching IELTS almost 9 years ago now at this point when I was teaching in various locations overseas. But now I've been with Swoosh English since 2019, helping candidates online pass their IELTS exam with speed, certainty, and ease with all of the IELTS support that we offer. So obviously you've come here today. And, oh, I'm from Ireland, by the way, in case you're wondering, in case you think my accent is different to the kind of accents that you have been studying with. So whatever your question is, bring them in and we'll start to answer them. So we got some people saying hello already. We've got Toure. Hello, Toure. Nice to meet you. Toure is from Sierra Leone. We've got Chacha has said hello. Chacha, good morning to you too. We've got Dahir has said hello. And we've got a number of other candidates coming in and saying hello as well. So guys, keep the questions coming in. The more that you ask, the more that I can answer. And I want to be as much support today as possible as a whole. So as it says on the banner, have IELTS questions, post them in the chat. I'm here to help you out with them. We've also got Gilda who said hello as well. Gilda, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. So we've got a first question. I think it's quite a general question that we'll start with. We've got John Roger. Hello, John. Has asked a very, very good introductory question. And that is, what does IELTS mean? Okay. So IELTS itself is an acronym in which they've taken various words and condensed them into a 5-letter acronym. IELTS stands for the International English Language Testing System, IELTS, and it is at this point the most widespread and popular English language test that someone can take for the purposes of moving, studying, or working overseas in an English-speaking country or in various English-speaking jobs or English-speaking educational institutions. So to this date, IELTS is accepted in over 140 countries worldwide and is, as I've said, the most widely accepted English language test at this time. So Jean and anyone else, if you are looking to take an English language test for whatever purpose that you might have, well, then it's going to be probably the most applicable in a wide range of circumstances test for you and your particular purposes. So who here in the chat box today, let us know in the comments, who here is taking the IELTS exam? Say in the chat box, I'm taking the IELTS exam, if you are. And if you're not, say, well, are you thinking about your IELTS exam at this point? So let us know in the chat box exactly why you're here. What do you want to get out of today? What questions do you have about your IELTS preparation, and I'll be sure to help you answer them and help you with your questions. Okay. So John also asked, and a previous question I noticed he asked, how to participate and what are the requirements? Well, John, you're here today because I'm sure you have some questions about IELTS. You want to know more about the tests, the structure, the pricing, the strategies, the support, the help, all of that. We're here today to help you to answer those questions. Okay. So Chacha has also said, hi, sir, how's your day going? My day is going really well. Chacha, how is yours going? Please ask me any questions that you might have about your IELTS preparation. Okay, thank you. So we got a question now from Hume. Hi, Hume, nice to meet you. Hume says, hi, Mr. Scott. Can you explain, please, to me about IELTS writing skills and rules? Okay, so Hume, first of all, I'm going to say that it's very difficult to say everything that you need about IELTS in a single question today. It's going to involve a bit more work in you learning the format, learning the skills, learning the techniques, applying the techniques, revising the techniques, and getting feedback on them over time, dedicatedly through your studies. But as a rule, Hume, IELTS writing is the most difficult section of the IELTS exam statistically. It is typically the most failed section because IELTS, well, writing as a whole, I'm sure many of you will probably agree with me, put your hand up, and the writing section is fairly difficult compared to other sections of the exam. So IELTS writing needs everyone's attention as a whole. You should dedicate your time to perfecting your IELTS writing skills for sure. So as an overview, IELTS writing is a separate subsection to all other subsections of the test, and it's a 60-minute exercise, okay? So in every kind of IELTS exam, general, academic, UKVI, you will have to do two different writing tasks, task 1 and task 2. Now for general IELTS and UKVI, task 1 involves writing a letter of some sort. Typically, you should spend 20 minutes on that activity as a whole, and it is generally the easier activity. Then in task 2, you have to write an essay of some sort, 250 words ideally, and you've got about 40 minutes to complete that as a whole. In IELTS academic, the essay format is the exact same, but the topics are a little bit more comprehensive and focus more on academic styles of essay as a whole. Whereas task 1 is instead a chart, diagram, or process description task in which you'll have to write about 150 words, spending 20 minutes on describing a chart, describing a process, describing a table, etc., etc. Now, there's a lot going on with those two tasks. There's a lot of different skills that you'll have to mesh, but the main criteria you are scored on include your task achievement or response, your cohesion and coherence, grammatical range and accuracy, as well. So you really have to focus on the 4 different kinds of writing criteria as a whole. And you really have to focus on all of the skills that are involved for every single kind of writing activity, Hume. So what I would recommend, Hume, is that if you are thinking about your IELTS writing as a whole, I would recommend that you get started with some videos and other materials that allow you to think about the general skills that you have to describe as a whole and familiarize yourself with the task. So what I'll do is I'm going to post in the chat box, guys, a link to our YouTube channel, which I think is a great start for anyone who's thinking about their IELTS tasks at this point or delving into IELTS and are getting used to the format, the skills, different kinds of tasks. Get started there. So come over to our YouTube channel. We got a lot of preparation videos over there that you can get started on, Hume, and anyone else who is thinking about their IELTS writing as a whole. Okay, so I think that's a great start. Okay, thank you, guys. So got more candidates have joined us. Thank you very much. Welcome to everyone who has come along. Wahab has said, Sir, love you. This is very helpful. Thank you very much, Wahab. I hope that you're enjoying this. Have you got any questions today? Let me know. I'll be certainly happy to help you in this session as a whole. And we got Ahmed has also joined us too. Hello to you, Ahmed. Okay. So we got another question here from Gilda. Gilda, hello Gilda, nice to see you today, has asked how to improve our reading skills. Well, as a whole, Gilda, it's difficult once again for me to help improve your precise reading skills because I don't know your strengths, your weaknesses, what you're good at, and what you need more support in as a whole. I'd have to analyze your own reading abilities, like we do at Swoosh English with our expert teachers, and give you bespoke advice. But listening to you speak right now, you're probably thinking generally, how can I improve my IELTS reading skills? Well, it will go in this order. First and foremost is test familiarization. So I want you to know the different kinds of tasks that you have to do in IELTS reading. IELTS reading is a 60-minute exam divided into 4 sections, 4, not 5, 4 for general and UKVI, and 3 sections for academic. The academic paper is typically a little bit more difficult as a whole, hence why it's used for university admissions. But the tasks that you have to do are quite similar and consistent. And there are a wide range of IELTS tasks that you have to do for IELTS reading, including sentence completion, heading matching, and the notorious true, false, or yes, no, not given. There's a lot of different activities that you have to complete, and it's recommended that you know all of them and you practice them in advance, okay? Now, there are a variety of different skills, Gilda, that you'll have to know and practice for IELTS reading. But first and foremost, IELTS reading is an expedited reading task. And by expedited, I mean quick, quick, quick. You don't have time to read every single word in every single IELTS task as a whole. So do not worry about knowing everything that you have to read. You won't know every single word. Even native English speaking teachers like me, with 9 years of IELTS teaching experience, won't know every single word in these papers. And you don't have to score highly, aka 7.5 or above in your IELTS reading. What you should be doing is practicing your quick reading skills, your skimming and your scanning techniques, as well as then practicing your method and your strategy to making use of the time as a whole, Gilda. So once again, Gilda, I would recommend, like I recommended to my friend Hume earlier on, to come across to our YouTube channel and check out some of our free IELTS resources and materials over there. We've got a variety of different reading activities and skills and materials that you can use over there to get a general understanding of your IELTS reading as a whole. And that's a good point. But Gilda, tell me, and also Hume earlier, tell me if you're taking the IELTS exam at this point. So Hume and Gilda, it's call to action to you. Are you taking the IELTS exam at this point? Have you booked the exam? Have you taken it before? Have you passed? What are your weaknesses? What are your skills? Have you had any feedback on the exams at this point? Has that helped me give you better advice tailored exactly to you in this session as a whole? So hope that makes sense, Gilda and Hume, and thank you very much for that. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Keep the questions coming. We've got a statement from Lordson. Lordson has said, I'm preparing to write the IELTS exam. Lordson, let me know exactly when you're taking the IELTS exam. Have you obviously preparing to write it? Have you booked it at this point? Have you taken it before? Have you passed? What are your concerns about IELTS preparation? What do you need support with as a whole? I'm here today to help you out with that, Lordson. Okay, so we got a question now from Ture. Ture has asked, how can I easily pass my IELTS exam? And what is the minimum pass and the maximum? So Ture, in your individual circumstance, I'll answer the last question first, which is, what is the minimum pass and the maximum pass? Well, as everyone should know, the IELTS is scored on a scale of 0 to 9. So You're going to be given scores called a band score for your IELTS exam, with 0 being the lowest score and 9 being the highest score. 0 is going to pretty much be someone who does not actually speak a word of English at all. You're not going to get any marks, whereas 9 is someone who has scored in the top 95% of scores as a whole, aka native English speaker, like in their application of the skills. Now, most candidates well, it depends exactly what your purpose is for taking the IELTS exam. Hooray, let me know in the chat box what it is. But if you're taking an exam for immigration purposes, you're typically needing a 4.5 or 5 or above out of 9. But if you're taking the exam for studying and work purposes, typically you need a 6 or above average in all of your IELTS skills, with some programs requiring a 7, which is pretty advanced level of English at this point. Okay, so Ture, why are you taking the IELTS exam? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to move overseas, live overseas, or study overseas at this point, as well as work overseas? So let me know. That will help answer the question. You've also asked, how can I easily pass the IELTS exam? First and foremost, Ture, is prepare adequately for your IELTS exam as a whole. Make sure that you're actually preparing for the exam. You're putting in time and effort and preparation in advance for the exam. You're getting support and feedback on your IELTS activities, most notably your reading, your speaking, and your writing skills. I'll say reading and writing in particular for most candidates require a good amount of support, and that you're not booking the exam until you are ready to pass and you know you are ready to pass. That is the way to easily pass the exam in terms of making the duration short as possible, and also to make it as easy as possible, stress-free as possible, and most importantly, as cheap as possible. Because the IELTS exam costs £220, about $300 per exam. So if you are failing the exam, well, that cost really starts to mount up. If I were to tell you today, Lorraine, and everyone else today, how many times a candidate on average took the IELTS exam, if I were to say to you 3, 4, or more times, how would you feel? Not so good, I'm sure, but that is the reality of the scenario. The average IELTS candidate takes the exam 3 or more times. So the average person is spending $900 or more on IELTS exam fees or more. So that's the bad news. But the good news is that candidates can actually avoid spending this amount of money by preparing adequately for their IELTS exam in advance and only booking when they are ready. So Ture, I'll bring up your statement again. How can I easily pass the IELTS exam? Prepare to pass it first time and know you are ready to pass it first time. As a whole would be my short answer to that question. Okay. Thank you, Ture, for that question. Let's bring up some more questions as a whole. Wahab has asked, sir, can we make an Instagram Discord instead of group-like discussion on IELTS preparation? And Wahab, you are welcome to create your own kind of discussion group if you like. You are more than welcome to do that and to find people to go into that discussion group and do that if you like. That's fine. But what I would recommend, Wahab, is not just relying on a discussion group and studying with friends to pass this exam, because it's not the most effective way to prepare as a whole. Certainly, it's incredibly useful to use as part of a dedicated IELTS preparation strategy, but there are a lot of groups out there with a lot of very distracted people in these groups trying to prepare via lots of free materials, support, mark my essay for me, do speaking practice for me, etc., etc. And what I'm just concerned about, Wahab, is that it's not the most effective strategy for you to pass by yourself. So I'll show you something very soon that I think that we can do to help you better pass your exam. But yes, answer to your question is you're free to create your own group, of course, but make sure that you're actually getting the core fundamentals of preparation and improvement in place. And that is called the feedback loop. By the feedback loop, I mean you learn a skill, you practice the skill, you then get feedback on the skill to see what was good, what wasn't so good, what you need to improve on. Then you apply that skill again, get feedback on that skill, etc., in a loop. If you're not getting that essential feedback, and by that I mean dedicated expert feedback on your skills, you're breaking the cycle of learning. And if you're breaking the cycle of learning, well, then you're not improving enough to get that IELTS score that you need. What our question is that can that group do that by itself? Maybe, maybe not, but it won't be as effective as using it as part of a dedicated preparation strategy and a singular resource, ideally, for preparation WAHAB. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. And we've got Mukadas has joined us. Hello, Mukadas. Thank you very much. Who has asked a question that I'm going to probably answer a few times today, and that is, how can I easily pass the IELTS exam? Mukadas, it's very, very, very important for you to ensure that you are preparing adequately for your IELTS exam. You are only taking the exam when you are ready, and you are dedicating yourself to preparation and studies as a whole. So there's no quick fix to passing the IELTS exam, guys. I'm going to say that right now. There's no magic pill to passing this exam. It is an English test. You have to build your knowledge of the test, your strategies of the test, your methods, but also improve your English level typically to be of advanced level English to get that 6.5 or 7 or above that score as a whole. It takes time and it takes effort and it takes dedication to your preparation. What I unfortunately see with so many candidates who come to Swoosh English for queries like this and questions is that they're not dedicating themselves appropriately to preparation at this point. They are trying to find that quick fix. They're trying to find those free materials. They're trying to get support from friends, but they're not addressing the core learning that needs to go into passing this exam as a whole. And that's why these candidates come to us after taking the exam 3, 4 or more times and ask, hey, what's going on? How can I pass? Well, what you're doing, is it working? They say, no, of course it's not working. Well, then you need to change your approach. As a famous quote goes, the definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing again and again and again, but expecting different results. So think about that to yourself today, Mukadas, and anyone else today who's in here. Are you doing the same thing again and again, but not getting the results that you need? If that is the case, it's time to think about a different strategy for your IELTS preparation. Because what I don't want anyone here today to do is to spend months upon months spinning their wheels, not really making any progress, but most importantly, spending potentially over $1,000 on unnecessary IELTS fees as a whole. Okay, so that's what I would recommend as a whole. I think everyone here needs to think about appropriate preparation as part of their strategy. So what I'd like to recommend to everyone is, of course, we got our YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel is incredibly useful for an initial starting point, but by itself, you're going to need more preparation as a whole. We at Swoosh have been offering IELTS preparation for over 10 years now. And as it said in our video to this video today, we're a British Council affiliated preparation partner as a whole. We have dedicated IELTS preparation solutions at every price point to help candidates pass their exams with speed, certainty, and ease. So I'm just going to show everyone now a little bit about how that would actually work. So you're going to see a link in a second that's going to appear in the chat box. That link is to the Swoosh English website. So if you haven't actually gone to the Swoosh English website, I recommend that you check it out, because we've got lots of free materials on the website as well as dedicated preparation courses. But at this minute, we're currently running a promo that I think everyone would be interested in to get access to even more friendly, price-friendly preparation materials from Swoosh English. So give me a second. I'm just going to share my screen, guys. On my screen is the link to the Swoosh English website. So if you're taking the IELTS Academic, here is a list of preparation materials that you can get access to. So we got a range of courses at a variety of different price points, with our accelerator price being a very, very popular option for obviously a variety of good reasons. So what you can do is with the accelerator course, you get access to everything that you need for IELTS preparation. The first thing that you will do with us is an exam readiness test. That test is a mini mock IELTS exam with complete teacher feedback on all skills. We'll tell you exactly what you need to do to pass your exam with that test. We've got a variety of video courses, questions, quizzes, and practice questions that you can do, previously corrected writing tasks, sets of IELTS mock exams, writing and speaking feedback, but most importantly, live classes in every single skill taught by expert teachers like me and others, plus others if you go for our higher end preparation courses. But everything that you need to access is there. So if you're interested in the IELTS Accelerator course, you would click on the Buy Now button. Here's what I want to see, something pretty impressive for everyone. So I just put in my name here. Not very well typed, I must say. And I put in my email. And I put in a phone number. I click go to step 2. We have a few options for candidates today. So you can spend 99 USD, which I will remind everyone is 1/3 of one IELTS exam price. But using a preparation resource like this will give you a much higher chance of passing your exam on the first attempt versus taking it numerous times and spending $1,000 or more on IELTS fees, as a lot of candidates do. You can pay 99 USD for access to this resource now, or you can use our payment plan. Spread your payment across 3 months. You'd only spend $33 today to get access. However, if you enter our special promo code called Summer25, as we can see here, and click apply, you'll get 25% off your IELTS preparation course. You'll only spend $24.75 today to begin your IELTS preparation, which is less than 10% of the IELTS price itself. I think if anyone has $24.75 but want to invest in their future and save money and time on their IELTS preparation, then I think our preparation resource will be a pretty good option for you as a whole. So that's the preparation resource, guys. I'm going to post some more links throughout this Q&A session to that. But if anyone is serious about joining an IELTS preparation course at this point, I would highly recommend that you jump on that offer ASAP and get access. So what does it look like inside our preparation course if you bought it, what you get access to as a whole? So I just share my screen again, and I show you inside our course. So if you were to join us, here is what you would get inside your preparation course. So if I click on take a course here, as you'll see, you'll get access to your dashboard. And your dashboard is stacked with features and materials that you'll be able to use to practice and prepare for your IELTS exam appropriately. The exam readiness test is here. We got a study planner. We got our writing and speaking course. We got our reading and listening course. We have all of our live classes, over 5 to 6 hours of preparation classes per week. You can book one-to-one classes if you opt for that package. Everything is recorded. You will see that there. You get access to writing and speaking corrections, where you'll get your writing and speaking graded by our expert teachers, all of your mock exams, and additional courses like Essential Exam Grammar, Academic Booster, Writing Mastery, Speaking Success, etc., as well. So you get access to a lot of materials inside the IELTS course that you can use to prepare at your own leisure. We'll help you put together your study schedule, do the quizzes, do the activities, and learn for your IELTS exam with our preparation courses. So guys, it's as easy as that. As mentioned, click on that link that's appeared in the chat box and you'll get access to that preparation course today with 25% off, giving you access today for only $24.75 if you opt for our accelerator course. We do have higher end preparation courses too, if you want to access them, but that's a great start today, is simply to click on that. Okay. Let's get back to questions. Lordson has replied saying it's my first time. Okay, Lordson, that's great to know. Lordson, what I recommend is you aim to pass your IELTS exam on that first attempt. Make sure that you put everything into passing this exam on your first attempt. What I recommend that you do is don't take the exam until you are ready. Instead of booking the exam now, prepare first, study, only book the exam when you are ready, because your mock exams will give you the marks that you need, excuse me. Your writing corrections, your speaking corrections, your teacher feedback will have told you you're ready for your exam. You should take it today or as soon as possible. First is the common route that lots of IELTS candidates take, which is book the exam, prepare, maybe don't prepare, and hope for the best maybe in 2 to 4 weeks' time. That is a big reason why there are so many IELTS fail rates and why so many candidates spend a lot of money and time in preparation unnecessarily on IELTS exam preparation, Lordson, and everyone else who's here today. Make sure that you study and prepare for your exam in advance and only book when you are ready. It's like learning how to drive a car, I suppose, at least in Ireland anyway. When I was learning to drive a car, I didn't book my driving test for a month's time and get in my car, drive around the roads, and hope for the best. Thinking, okay, I know how to use my indicators. I know how to use my steering. I can use my steering. I can use my controls, pedals, all of that. I didn't do that. I had to get an instructor to teach me and show me the way over various lessons over time. If I had jumped in the car and tried to pass my own driving test, I would have failed multiple times. So I only took the exam when the instructor said, you're ready because you passed the mock exams, you passed with my assessment. And that's when I took my exam and I passed. So why won't we take the exact same approach for learning an English exam like IELTS as we would for learning how to drive a car? However, I do see lots of candidates that do skip this part. They book the exam for a few weeks' time, don't really seriously prepare, take the exam. It's very stressful. It's a lot of pressure in the day, get their results with no feedback from IELTS, and it's a fail. And then there's panic, and then there's disappointment, and there's sadness, and there's regret that they spent money. But then they continue the same approach. They book it again, thinking something's going to be different, but this time it isn't. So what I want you to think about is think about like you're learning how to drive a car or something that you need preparation and guidance on. And that's surely going to be the fastest way for you to pass your exam. Okay. Thank you, Lordson. And let's get to some more questions. Gilda has said, thank you so much for your explanation. I appreciate it. Yes, I have done once. It was 2 years ago. And next week on Thursday, I will have IELTS UK VI. Well, firstly, Gilda, I really hope that you do really well on your IELTS exam next Thursday. For me, on behalf of myself and the entire Swoosh English team, I wish you the best of luck with your IELTS exam that day. And I'm sure that you will have been doing the preparation in advance and learned in advance as well about how to pass your exam. Gilda, let me know how you're feeling about your exam, what your scores were 2 years ago, and also let me know what you've been doing to practice for your exam up to this time, and I'll be happy to give you some more advice based on that. So Gilda, thank you very much. Ture has asked, thank you very much for your response. I have taken the IELTS exam 2 months back. I was looking for 7.5 score for the first time for academic studying and work, but I only scored a band 5. Ture, thank you very much for giving me these scores. That helps me with my assessment as a whole. So obviously you're looking to take IELTS academic for academic study, and you're obviously applying to a really good university because you have to score a 7.5, which is a pretty high score in IELTS. The fact you've only scored 5, though, will indicate that there's a good bit of work that you have to do to get those band scores up. Now, there might be a degree of test familiarization, which is part of every useful IELTS strategy is how can I apply my techniques to scoring as highly as possible inside the time conditions? And I recommend that you do that. There may also be some skills deficiencies there where you need to improve your general writing skills, your general speaking skills, your general listening and reading skills, grammar and vocabulary as sub-skills as well. You might need to do that. But to get 2.5 band scores higher, there's going to be a good bit of work that you need to do to improve that as a whole, Ture. So please do not book your next IELTS exam until you have proven that you have scored that 7 to 7.5 range, ideally 7.5 as a whole. Because unless you've got that proven to you in your techniques and your strategy, well, then I just fear that you're going to be taking this exam again and again and scoring around that 5.5-ish mark without really improving. It's a lot of money and a lot of time, a lot of stress going into that process, Turi. So I want you to change your approach. Get instructions, get guidance, get that teacher feedback, improve your skills, go through guided study, and instead improve that way, Turi. So I'm once again going to post into the chat box, guys, for you, Turi, and everyone else, is Swoosh English's IELTS preparation course option that you can take today to get guidance from expert teachers, to go through a guided study program and pass your exam. We've had over 30,000 students pass their IELTS exams in over 10 years that we've been doing IELTS preparation courses, and we're also trusted by the British Council to pass the IELTS exam as well. And that's why we're here today in partnership with the British Council as a British Council registration centre. So that's what I recommend, Ture. I don't want you to be able to have to spin your wheels and hope for the best again and again and again. I want you to change your strategy today and take serious IELTS preparation on point, because it will not only save you stress and time, it will save you a lot of money as well, especially if you study Swoosh English during this time. So guys, thank you very much. We're about halfway into this session today. Thank you very much, of course, for all of your comments coming through so far. If you're enjoying this session today, well, then make sure you give us a like, you give us a love, you give us a comment, and do us a favor as well. If you're watching on Facebook, well, make sure you follow our Facebook page. If you're watching on YouTube, then please follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It helps us a lot with ensuring that we're putting out the right content to the right people to get the message across about how we can help you pass your exam as well. So thank you very much for that. By the way, if anyone's looking to book their IELTS exam as well, we can help you do that and help you get money off your IELTS exam as a whole. So I'm going to post a link into the chat box here, where if you're looking to book your IELTS exam at this point, but only if you're ready, guys, make sure you only do it if you're ready. Click on the link that says British Council, and that will take you directly to a booking page where you can get your IELTS test booked hassle-free as a whole. So, okay, let's get into another question. Ture's got another question. How long will the certificate last for? That's a good question, Ture, as a whole. So anyone who's taken the IELTS exam, your score will be valid for 2 years, which is a good amount of time, but you need to obviously move during that time to get your university placement. If anyone's taken an IELTS exam, your certificate is valid for 2 years as a whole. We got Selamit. Welcome, Selamawit, sorry, and welcome to the session today. Selamawit has asked, how can we spell the letters when filling on the answer sheet? Can we spell all the words with capital letters? And is spelling error have an effect on our course? So Selamawit, what I would recommend that you do is you do not spell in capital letters, okay? Spell the word as it would appear in English. So make use of proper capitalization, uppercase and lowercase. If you spell in capital letters, there's a chance that you're not going to get the right score and the right mark. So make sure that if you begin, when you're filling on the answer sheet, that if you are filling in a gap, for example, and the gap appears at the beginning of a sentence, capitalize that first letter and don't capitalize the rest as a whole. Likewise, if you are filling in a gap in the middle of a sentence, make sure that you are obviously then not capitalizing, but please don't capitalize everything. You will lose marks as a whole. The second part of your question is, does a spelling error have an effect on our score? The answer is yes, it will have an effect on your score. You must get the spelling correct. Some minor spelling errors may be permitted as a whole, but the best strategy to go for is to spell everything correctly, especially when it comes to reading and listening, because any spelling errors will likely result in major spelling errors will likely result in no points for that particular exercise. When it comes to writing, as a whole, well, spelling comes under one of the scoring criteria as a whole, which is your, yeah. So what you should do for that is ensure that you are spelling things correctly as possible. Minor spelling errors will affect some of the scoring criteria as a whole. But please take this on board today, that you need to spell as appropriately as you can. Salamat. Okay? We can help you with that in our preparation resources as a whole. Thank you for that question. We've got Josephine. Hello, Josephine. Nice to meet you. Has said, I have a question concerning. Oh, that's gone. Sorry. Hold on. We've got Surab. Said, good afternoon, Scott. Surab, sorry. Good afternoon to you, Surab. Have you got a question? I'm very, very happy to answer your question as a whole. Welcome to the session today. Let's see what other question. Oh, here it is. Sorry. I will have my OET. Okay, I'll answer one OET exam today, question today. I'm very happy to do so. My OET exam on upcoming 3rd August, just after 3 days. Can you provide some concern about this, please? Surab, I would recommend that you get in touch with our team who can help you out with your OET questions as a whole. But my recommendation is you've got 3 days to go. You need to relax during that time and get into an OET passing mindset. So Surab, if you've got any questions, and anyone else who's here today, have got any questions outside of IELTS, this is an IELTS Q&A today, then give us an email at inquiries@swooshenglish.com. So guys, give us an email at inquiries@swooshenglish.com, and we'll be happy to answer any non-IELTS questions today. But likewise, if anyone else has any questions about IELTS and they want them answered outside of this Q&A today, then give our team an email at inquiries@swooshenglish.com as a whole. Okay, so let me get that back. So yeah, Surab, that's what I recommend as a whole. You've got your exam coming up, 3 days. It's not a long amount of time. I hope that you've been preparing at this point. Let me know how you have, of course. But you need to be able to relax at this point and going into a state of mind. 3 days is not a lot of time to improve your score, especially with so much happening during that time as a whole. Okay, so Humane has asked, what kind of book is useful for preparing for the IELTS exams? Well, the best kind of book that you can use to prepare for your IELTS exam is likely the Cambridge IELTS series. They're a really good set of books as a whole. There's a lot of them at this point, so they're a very good resource to self-study for the IELTS exam, and can be used as part of an effective strategy. But what I recommend, Hume, is that as good as these resources are, they don't really give you feedback on your productive skills, like your speaking and your writing. So yes, there's lots of great guided exercises you can do to improve your skills, but the books are not going to give you guided feedback as a whole. So that's what I would recommend, Hume, is if you're looking for speaking and writing feedback, then a preparation course is a much better option, because you will get that essential feedback and you will get scores and recommendations on your own individual writing skills and your own individual speaking skills, which will help you with your score and your ability to pass the IELTS exam as a whole. So long story short, the Cambridge books are a great resource for self-studying, but by themselves, you probably will need some guided speaking and writing feedback as a whole. And that's where we can come in and help you for that. Thank you. Hello, Mami. Mami has asked, hi, sir. I just want to know if, for example, you failed for the test, you have to retry again, you have to pay again. Generally, that is the case, Mami. Yes, you do have to take the exam again if you fail. And that's why the examination fees are so high, because so many candidates take the exam 3, 4, or more times. A lot of failures do happen because of ineffective preparation. Now, IELTS, with both IDP and British Council, who are the two co-owners of the IELTS exam, do have a few different incentives in place to help you with your retakes. IELTS and IDP both offer what's called the one skill retake option, which, say, for example, you're taking the IELTS exam and you passed in your speaking, your writing, and your listening, but you failed in your reading. You can pay a reduced fee to only retake the reading exam as a whole. If you pass that, you combine your two scores together in your two different sittings, and you get your passing score that way. So there are ways that you don't have to pay the full fee, which certainly helps, but The best strategy to ensuring that you're ready for the exam is to make sure that you're preparing adequately for the exam as a whole. So if anyone wants more information about how to, in essence, what the one skill retake is, then click on the link that says britishcouncil.org that appears in the chat, as that will help you with booking your exam and rebooking your exam and finding out more information about taking your exam with the British Council, which is where most candidates today, I'm sure, will be taking their IELTS exam, and that is with the British Council at this point. So click on that link, and that will give you more information that you need. So Gilda's responded saying, thanks a lot for your support. 2 years ago, my overall score was 4.5. Without no took IELTS course, all things experienced in English. Now I feel better. I think my skills are better than the past experience. Okay, thank you, Gilda. So 2 years ago is a long time as a whole, which is great to hear. You've been preparing and passing your English during that time. A 4.5 is quite low in your English skills, but only if you're looking to get a 7.5 or above. It'd be good to know exactly what your IELTS scores were now as a whole without taking the IELTS scores, without taking the entire IELTS exam again, of course. So Gilda, let me know why you're taking the IELTS exam. Are you taking UKVI? Are you taking general? Are you taking academic? And what is your required score that you need to fulfill that purpose? Because that will give me an indicator of, okay, we'll assume that you've got a 4.5 now, but you need to get to a higher score as a whole. That will help me answer that question. How long will it take you to get there? So Gilda, let me know what your required score is. And based on that, I will be able to help you with your, with what I think are the next best options for you. Okay. Thank you, Gilda. That's great. And let's see what other questions we have here. Sarah has asked, hello, Sarah, nice to see you. And thanks a lot for coming along today. Good morning. Are you allowed to rewrite the test in case you failed the first one? Yes, you are allowed to rewrite the test, but you'll have to pay another test fee, Sarah. Of course, you may be eligible for the one skill retake, in which you'll be able to only take one of the skills again as a whole. But I just want to highlight something to Sarah and to other candidates today is that it's important that you are aware that you can take the test again, of course, but you have to pay to take the test again. And with the IELTS exam costing about 300 USD per exam, it can really add up. And the costs can be incredibly high for candidates. Now, the majority of IELTS candidates take the exam 3 to 4 times as a whole. So candidates are retesting, and retesting. So if we take a candidate that's taken the exam 4 times, $300 each, they've spent $1,200 on IELTS exam fees, and they still haven't passed. And remember, this is the average, okay? So 50% of candidates in this session today will take the exam 3 to 4 times and spend $900, $1,200 or more on exam fees. If you think you're different, that's not going to be the case because that's on average. Now, I would say you're different if you were preparing adequately for the exam, you were taking a preparation course or resource, and you weren't booking the exam until you are ready as a whole. But I think a lot of candidates today here are looking for free resources and they're needing a lot more information about their IELTS exam as a whole. So pretty much everyone today who I'm speaking to, my advice to you, my honest advice, and I say it with love, is please do not book your IELTS exam yet. Please don't book it because I don't think you're ready based on what I'm hearing everyone say today. I would recommend that you go away and prepare adequately first before you even think about taking your IELTS exam. And only book this test when you are ready. And you'll know you're ready because you've been scoring the ideal scores in your own IELTS preparation, your own mock speaking, your own mock writing, your own listening and reading exercises, with teacher input, with teacher feedback, with teacher support as a whole, okay? So please do not go away and book your IELTS exam yet. I think there's more work that needs to be done. That's for you, Sarah, and for everyone else who's asking these IELTS questions at this point. I say it with love because I want everyone to pass this exam. I really want you to. But with over 9 years of being an IELTS preparation teacher, I've seen this appear again and again and again and again. Now, a lot of candidates today are probably thinking, well, IELTS preparation is expensive. It's expensive. Yes, it certainly can be expensive if you go for certain options, but there are ways to actually make it a lot less expensive for you. I'm going to say alternatively, how does the thought of spending $900 to $1,200 or potentially even more on IELTS fees work for you? Is that cheap or is that also expensive? It's a lot of money to spend unnecessarily on IELTS exam fees as a whole, guys. There's a better way of preparing adequately with a preparation course or resource and only taking the exam when you are ready, because you'll know with all the teacher feedback and support that you're getting as a whole too. And I'll share more information about that very soon because I want to answer a few more questions before the end of the session today. Okay. I can see some candidate. This is actually a very good statement. Hooray has said, I think we can recommend IELTS be part of the school curriculum. That should student be score a high band. I completely agree, Hooray. There should be schools where there is IELTS preparation, English, very high quality English preparation for taking the IELTS exam. You know, I would love that to happen. That would be an amazing thing if your schools did help candidates prepare for an IELTS exam. That will give you the scores and support that you need well in advance before taking the IELTS exam, and it will help you get the scores that you need. That would be an amazing thing to happen, that's for sure. But if it hasn't happened, well, then you need to think about the next best option, and that is undergoing your own IELTS preparation, your own IELTS learning, your own IELTS courses. That will have to be done too. Because as I just said there a second ago, I want to avoid having the typical scenario happen to you, Ray, and happen to everyone else. And that is candidates taking this exam numerous times, constantly failing, getting stressed, getting worried, getting paranoid, and even worse, feeling like they cannot pass this exam. It's too difficult. It's not too difficult. It's hard. It's challenging, of course, but it's not difficult. As in, it's not impossible to pass. You just need to have the right method, the right strategy, the right learning, and be patient with the learning process as a whole. I'm not even sure who actually said this quote, but where is it? I think of a quote I had, but mine kind of went blank for a second. That's it. Every great journey starts with taking a single step. Okay? So your single step today, guys, isn't thinking about getting that 7.5. Okay, that's the goal at the very end. But the single step is a step in the right direction today. A step in the right direction would be making the right choice about how to prepare for this IELTS exam and passing it. So what's going to be your single step that you're going to take today in the right direction? And if you're taking 1,000 single steps in the right direction, you'll be at your destination before you even know it as a whole. Okay, so that's just what I want to leave candidates with today, is that style of thinking. What's the next step that I can do today that's going to bring me closer to my goal? Okay. All right. So thank you very much, guys. Let's have a few more. Let's have a few more questions as a whole. Okay. And let me see. We've got a question from Settlement again. Says, thank you so much for your guidance. When can we get our identification card? Can we get during our exam days, or is that proceeding from the exam date? That's a good question. Generally, though, you'll get your identification card on the day as a whole. Still in my wits, but listen to your advice that you're getting when you've registered for your exam. But I hope you haven't registered for your exam. Not yet. If you have, that's okay. Please prepare appropriately. But you'll get all of your advice on the day, all of your identification on the day, if you just show up, and all of that should be happen through your registration of the exam as a whole. Okay, so that's my advice to you. Okay, thank you. Got another question. Ture has asked, do you have agency that can guide students in various countries, like here in Sierra Leone? The British Council, Ture, is where I would, if you're looking for an agency to help you book your exam and all of that information, that's where I would go straight away. It's the British Council in booking your exam, etc. So I'm going to copy and paste that link in for you. Guys, everyone who's looking for more information, go to the British Council website, okay? Now, there is an option to book your tests. I'd only book your test if you are ready. That's what I recommend, but you can book your test in that portal link as well as a whole, okay? So guys, thank you very much for that. I think I've got all the questions that have been asked so far. I'm just going to scan to see if I've missed any at this point, but we've got a few more minutes to wrap up this section today if you've got some more questions, okay? But Toure's got a comment, and this is going to summarize what I think a lot of people are thinking today. This is a very expensive from my side, booking for IELTS exam. Then I don't get what I want. I was frustrated about the exam. During my exam, there is no light on second day for listening, reading, and writing. So the room is noisy. I scored low in listening. How best to help out to get the band score that I need? Well, aside from any distractions that are happening on the IELTS test day, Toure, my thought to you is what I've kind of been saying in this section today as a whole, is that please do not book this exam again until you have made the improvements that you need to pass as a whole, okay? So Toure, do you know what your scores were, okay? Let me know what your scores were in that first IELTS exam, if you like. I can then recommend what I think are the next best steps for you based on your scores. But if your IELTS scores are far away from your required IELTS passing scores, then you need to think of a different approach and not book this exam again today, because I don't want the same outcome happening. I don't want you not spending more money, that you need more support as a whole, okay? So please, please, please make sure that you do, of course, take the right next steps for your IELTS preparation, okay? Thank you. So Toure, that's my answer to you today. I've got a question from Josephine here. How do you know that your task is submitted using that student portal mock tests? Oh, Josephine, are you talking about our Swoosh English preparation course? Well, thank you very much for being a Swoosh English student as a whole. What I recommend that you do, Josephine, I'm going to actually create a banner for you, is if you have any questions about everything, then please give us an email at inquiries@swooshenglish.com. Josephine, if you've got any queries about how to use your portal appropriately, then give us an email at inquiries@swooshenglish.com, and our team will be there to support you with any queries that you have with utilizing your portal and utilizing your questions. Okay, thank you guys. It's been great. Thank you so much for coming along today. Thank you so much for joining us. So I think, well, first and foremost, let me know if you enjoyed the section today. Did you get your questions answered? Did you find like today was useful? If that is the case, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, follow us on Facebook, and subscribe to us on YouTube. And that way you're doing us a favor to help us bring more great content to you as a whole. So I think the core theme of today's section today was that I'm sensing confusion and frustration from a lot of candidates today about their IELTS exam. I think that you're going to need a bit more support and help as a whole to get your IELTS exam and get your IELTS preparation test, your test sorted as a whole. I want everyone to avoid going down the route of delaying appropriate test preparation as a whole, because it's going to result in you taking even longer to pass this exam. You're not going to make that progress as a whole, and you're going to be putting off your dreams, putting off your ambitions of moving and living and working and studying abroad. With the IELTS exam costing $300 a piece and the average candidate taking it 3 to 4 times, I want to avoid that scenario happening to you as a whole. I'd much rather that you prepare and pass first time with expert feedback and an expert program. So just a reminder, guys, that we do have an option at Swoosh English to help you pass your exam on that first attempt. We've got a range of IELTS preparation courses that you can take, you can learn online, study within your own timeline with speed, certainty, and ease. So you're going to see a link appearing now in the chat to our IELTS academic courses. We've got a variety of courses here, with our accelerator option being a very popular one because of the low price entry point, in which you'll get access to an IELTS mock exam, lots more mock exams, complete suite of live classes taught by native English speaking expert teachers, video courses, quizzes, activities, writing corrections, speaking corrections, plus a lot more. So if you go to the website, click on the button that says Buy Now, input your name, your email address, and your phone number. And then when it comes to the payment section, you've got a choice of paying first time for one fee or spreading your payment across different fees. So if you opted for that option, you would only spend $33 today to get access to a complete online IELTS preparation course as a whole inside. We're currently running a promo where if you input summer 25 in the promo section, you'll get 25% off your IELTS course. You'll only start studying today for $24.75, which is about 5% of the price of one IELTS exam as a whole. It's actually not even that much more expensive than some IELTS preparation books, but you're getting the courses, the materials, the teachers, and the feedback on top of it as well. This is our attempt and our offer to give candidates a very, very cost-effective, but also very effective IELTS preparation course for you to practice and study and apply anytime, anywhere as a whole. So we would love to have more of you on that IELTS preparation course. So of course, then when you sign up to your IELTS preparation course as a whole, you can then get access to your course. And inside the course, you'll see a dashboard that looks something like this. You log in, and you get all your preparation materials as a whole, including your exams, your reading and listening courses, access to the live classes, of which there are numerous per week across lots of different time zones, all hosted via Zoom and other video hosting platforms. You've got your one-to-one lessons if you've booked that as part of your packages. All of our classes are recorded. You've got your writing corrections, your speaking corrections, your mock exams, your previously corrected essays, additional courses like exam grammar, academic vocabulary, speaking success, writing success, etc., etc. We've got a lot of different resources that you can use inside your courses, all to great effect for yourself. The very first thing that you'll do inside the course is your IELTS exam readiness test, where we'll take you through a mini IELTS test, but we'll also give you scores and feedback on all 4 of those components, which will then give you an indicator about where you come from here, plus much, much more. So if you're interested in that, guys, and I hope that you are, I'm going to post a link here to give you your special discount today of 25% off your preparation course. So I'm going to copy and paste that in. You'll see that now in the chat box, guys. It's a link that says swooshenglish.com/academic course. Click on the link and then input that code summer25 to get access to your preparation course today. You don't even have to go with us at Swoosh English, guys. I'm not saying that you have to prepare with us as a whole. All I really care about, most importantly, is that we break the cycle of candidates feeling confused, scared, frustrated, overwhelmed, and spending a lot of money unnecessarily on IELTS fees. That's what I want to happen today. And I can see a lot of you are maybe going down that route. I want you to divert from that route and take the right approach to passing the exam. Yes, there may be a short-term financial aspect to that, of paying for a course that you didn't think that you had to, but medium to long-term, that investment is a payoff because you will pass the exam with fewer attempts, saving hundreds of dollars. You will pass the exam sooner, saving a lot of time and frustration, and you will get to your goal of studying, working and living abroad much sooner as well, which is just good for your self-esteem and good for your career goals as a whole too. So guys, thank you very much for your questions today. Thank you very much for this session. Come on over to us at swooshenglish.com, ask your questions on our website. Probably should actually show that, guys. Give me a second. I'm going to show that too, is that you can come over to our website. And if you've got any further questions, you'll see on the website here a little button that says chat with us. That's where my team and I will be happy to answer your questions a bit further today. If you've got any more questions as a whole, simply click here, start filling out the chat bot, and our team will be there to help us answer your questions a bit further about anything to do with IELTS and other preparation courses as a whole. So guys, thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys, for all the love that you're sending in today as well. I can see that you really appreciated this session as a whole, and I wish everyone the best of luck with their next steps with their IELTS preparation. If you choose Swoosh English, very happy to help you with the next steps as a whole, and I'll see you inside the course. But yes, make the right choice for you based on the information I've given to you today. So thank you, have a great day, and I'll hopefully see you again very, very soon. Take care.